Hello everyone, and welcome back to Modded Minecraft. I am Reliikgaming, and this is FTB Infinity Evolved Skyblock, episode number 27. So, in the last episode then, we had spent some time setting up a new and improved assembly table setup. So we've got a load more lasers, and that is being fed from power created by our new redstone solar panel setup, which is not making anything at the moment, obviously, because it's night, but when it does, it creates a whole stack of power. And if we look over here now, we can see that we have got a whole load of power into our redstone energy cells already. So yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to run out of power there anytime soon. And during the in-between episodes, I made a little bit of an attempt at trying to automate these with kind of mixed success, really. First of all, if you just go into, in fact, if I can grab my crescent hammer, that would be an absolutely fantastic start. And I can click into this. I set up a couple of crafting modules in here. First of all, I set it up to be able to make iron chipsets, which was absolutely no problem whatsoever. And I then set it up to be able to make basic machine frames. And although it can put them together, what it can't do is recognise if there isn't an iron chipset in our system already, and therefore go away and run the other crafting module first. So I need to figure out how to do that. I'm sure there's a pretty simple way, but like I said, during the short amount of time in between episodes that I had, I wasn't able to figure it out. But yeah, I will do. And of course, given that we've got the program in there for the basic machine frames, means obviously I automated the rock crusher. Now, that was fairly straightforward as well once I figured out that the only input available to this whole multi-block structure is at the top. If you try to put this anywhere else, it'll still recognise that it's a craftable item, but when the modules come up delivering the obsidian, in this case, to get crushed obsidian, they'll get to whatever place and bounce back and go straight back out again. So yeah, that has to be in the top. And although on the wiki page it says that the only output is the bottom, with logistics pipes again, it doesn't matter. As long as the input is in the right place, it will still get output at that point as well. Okay, so what I want to do today then really is I want to try to think a little bit ahead to the future and where the game is going. Now, so far we've we've spent a little bit of time on the logistics pipes, trying to sort of get ourselves a little bit automated. And yeah, that is kind of helpful, and we will definitely use that. But going forward, we are going to want a much better system of automated stuff, because we've already seen there's a few drawbacks here. And yeah, in order to sort of like move forward away from that, eventually we're going to want to get ourselves a Applied Energistics network, or an AE system, however you want to call it. Now, in this pack, that is not a straightforward affair at all. And if we just go in and have a look at some of the recipes that we require for that. So if we just go in and type in Applied Energistics, like so, we can see if we go into the ME controller, for example, we've got some bits and pieces in here that you're probably sort of familiar with getting, and in the pack they're not particularly more difficult. However, we've got this one item here, the Certus Quartz Wrench, which is somewhat of a pain. So first of all, we need this enhanced Galgadorian metal, which is going to require us to basically get some large lumps of Galgador, which requires some lumps of Galgador, which requires all these little bits and pieces. Mostly in here that's going to be difficult is the Eye of Galgador, which requires us to get ender pearls, which we haven't got a great source of yet, because the mob farm that we've got is pretty rubbish when it comes to Enderman, to be honest. And yeah, on the other side, then, we've got this enriched Cenarium alloy. Now, everything on here is more sort of grindy than anything else, but the thing that we are going to have problem with is the actual Cenarium alloy, because this requires us to get Iridium reinforced plate, which requires us to get some advanced iron diamonds, which is absolutely fine, but then it also requires us to get some Iridium ore, in which case we need to get pellets of RTG fuel And we also need to get this MOX nuclear fuel. And the pellets of RTG fuel require us to get plutonium, which require us to, if you just come into here, which require us to be able to put into the thermal centrifuge some of the depleted fuel rods of whatever type. So quad rods, single rods, whatever. But it basically requires us to get depleted fuel rods. And the only way for us to get depleted fuel rods is to set up a nuclear reactor, which obviously we haven't got yet. So that is what we are going to concentrate on today, basically getting ourselves a small nuclear reactor setup. Now, it probably is helpful because it will give us another source of power, although I'm not particularly interested in it for power. I am more than happy with what is being created here. But yeah, I'm more interested in it, obviously, for getting this these fuel rods. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, but you've only just set up the logistics pipe system. Why are you setting this up already? Well, the main reason is because we're going to have to collect quite a lot of this plutonium. And in order to get depleted rods, you need to leave this thing running. And leaving it running, I think it takes kind of at least sort of 4 or 5 hours for the fuel rods to actually deplete, and we are going to need quite a lot of them in order to get the bits and pieces that we need to at least to run Applied Energistics. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing then that we need for a nuclear power station is a reactor core and some reactor casings. So if I just go into, I think it's just called nuclear reactor actually, but it's basically this block and these blocks. So if we go into the nuclear reactor first, pretty straightforward recipes, just again quite time consuming. We need to get ourselves some dense lead plates, that's just 9 lead plates into the compressor. We need to get ourselves some advanced circuit, again stuff that we've all made before. And we also need to get ourselves another generator, which is easy enough to make, just another RE battery, some iron plates and an iron furnace. And finally, don't want to click on that. And then finally, we need some of these reactor chambers, which again, relatively easy, some lead plate around basic machine frame, which is just an iron chipset surrounded by iron plates. And we're going to need 9 of those because the actual reactor itself has got 4 sides on the top and the bottom, which means that you can put 6 reactor casings around it to increase the amount of space inside the reactor to place fuel rods and heat sinks. And obviously we also need 3 reactor chambers in the making of the nuclear reactor itself. So that's going to require a total of 9 reactor chambers. So that's 9 basic machine frames, 9 iron chipsets. And I'm just thinking how many iron chipsets I've actually got. So I've got 1 just there. And if we can just get over to our chest, I'll see how many we've got in here as well. And we haven't got any. That's fine. We can head over to here and we can now go in and craft some iron chipsets. So we'll just choose 10 of those. And let's just wait and see whether or not this is still working. I do sometimes like doubt whether these things are actually going to start up. So we just wait for the little module to actually get in here. And there we go. There's all the modules. And now the lasers have started. Excellent. So yeah, that is working. So I'm just going to basically, I'm going to go away. I'm going to gather together a load of the bits and pieces that we need to get this done. Because as I say, you've seen this done numerous times before now, the advanced circuits and certainly using the metal former to get and the compressor to get the plates and dense plates that we need. You've seen us make a generator before, and yeah, we've done this a number of times now. So I'm going to get it to the point where I can put all the bits and pieces together, then we'll pop it together, and I've made myself a little bit of a gangway, well actually a gangway of 128 blocks to be precise, over to this platform where we're going to set up the nuclear power station. Because obviously, if you've used nuclear power from IC2 before, you'll be aware that there is a very high risk that these things can explode. And when they do explode, the blast radius is absolutely huge. And I don't want to suddenly just be standing in the middle of the void with no island, because that would be quite upsetting. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so a few minutes later, and we've got most of the bits together I think that we need to put the casings and the reactor together. So let's just pop into the crafting station. So first of all then, we'll start off with the reactor chambers. So we need a load of the basic machine frames, and I didn't grab the iron chipset, so we are off to a flying start already. Now, I expected those to be down there for some reason. Let's just see exactly where they are in the system. I'm going to assume that they've actually finished because we did request them. So they are in there. So let's just request all 10 of those. And that was not what we wanted to do. So yeah, we're off to a great start. So yeah, there we go. So we request the 10 of those. And hopefully they'll pop into our chest, which they have. Like so. And we've got the required plates. So we can make the machine casings. Now, I don't think I actually need all of these because I've got a couple of machine casings already. So I think we just need, how many do we need all together? We needed 9. So we just need 7 of these. So we'll surround those then with, that was the right one. We'll surround those with the iron plates. And yeah, we'll grab the rest of the machine casings. So that is that done. And then all we need to do is take the machine casings, and I think it was just lead like this, which it was. So in fact, we are going to need a whole lot more than that, aren't we? We're going to need 9 on each of these. So that's that there, 9 there. And we are just missing a tiny little bit of lead. And I'm wondering whether or not I've got any of that over in the metal former. And yeah, 7 pieces. Is that going to be the actual amount that we need? I'll tell you what, if it is, that'll be amazing. It's more than what we need. Okay, well, that's cool. That's still amazing anyway. That means that we can now get our reactor chambers done. So let's move on then to the it's called the nuclear reactor. So for that we need the dense plates, which I know I've definitely put those into the compressor, so they're in there waiting for us at the moment. Then we need to put a generator together. Now that's going to require first of all to get an RE battery with just some insulated tin cable, some tin item casings and some electrotine, which I'm kind of hoping that we've got all the bits there ready to make that. So there is our insulated tin cable, there is our electrotine, and there are the tin casings. So that's the RE battery. And then we need to get ourselves some iron plates and an iron furnace, which is the normal furnace surrounded by iron plates. So we need to go all the way back over here and grab ourselves some of the whatever it's called now, the compressed cobble. So we need 8 pieces of that. And in fact, we can now come over, we'll just use this crafting table because it's closer. Like so. And then we take that, put that there, and take some plates, put it like that. And that is the iron furnace. And then to turn the iron furnace into a generator, and I have briefly lost the block at the moment that we need it for. There we go. We just need to basically, I think we can just shift click this in, can we? No, we can't. We need the battery and then 3 pieces of the iron plate. And there is our generator. And then, yeah, finally, we just need to make this advanced circuit. So first of all, we need a normal circuit, which hopefully, yeah, we can just definitely just shift click that in. And then to make the advanced circuit, we are going to need some basic capacitors, which, can I just get the rest of this stuff out of here before we start that? We have got some signal nuggets, we've got the redstone. In fact, yeah, we should just be able to shift click a couple of these in as well. So we need 2 of those, and then we need to put those together with some intricate circuits, which I have got over here in the carpenter. I am trying to be a little bit more organised in getting stuff together so that episodes run a little bit more smoothly. I'm not sure how long it will last for, probably just the duration of this episode, to be honest, but there we go. I did try. And yeah, there we go. So we can pop that into there. And now we should be able to just put this. Oh no, we just need to go over and get the dense plates as well. There you go. The efficiencies have gone already. So yeah, we'll just grab our dense plates, and now we should just be able to put this together. And then we can go and stick this on our little platform that's way, way over there. And we can look at what's required next. So pop that in there, shift click that in, and that is our setup. Now we do need to just grab a block of something, because in fact we'll take one of these for now, because you can't just put this straight down on the floor of the reactor, because obviously you need to put the casings underneath it, and you can't put the casings down without there being a reactor block next to it. So yeah, just one of those funny little things in modded Minecraft, but yeah, just the way it goes. So let's just get over there, and then that'll stop me waffling on about stuff. And for whatever reason, I threw that on the floor. Right, so there we go. Put that there. Put the nuclear reactor on top of it, and then mine that out of the way, like so. And then we'll grab our reactor casings, and we'll put one there, one there. Can I put one in? One there, yeah. One there, one there. One on the side, and finally one on the back. So that's now completely surrounded. And you can click on any of these blocks, and it will take you into the actual reactor. So all of these slots in here, we can put fuel rods in. Well, if we wanted it to blow up. But what we're going to need is the heat vents, and I'm going to show you, because there's quite a few options of heat vents that we can use. So if I just type in heat, you can see here that we've got these heat exchangers. Now, I'm not 100% sure how these work. I've not used those. Well, I've not used any of these before, but I've not seen those used before. And then you've got the heat vents. Now, I do know what these do. The heat vents basically are what we're going to use. Now, we're going to use the standard one, and I think this dissipates something like about 6 units of heat per second or something like that. But basically, as you go up the sort of different vents, then it just dissipates more heat. But I know that we can place these in a one-to-one relationship with fuel rods, and the reactor will be safe. Nothing will explode. And I really, really don't want to start trying to do this and do the maths on exactly how many we can have per heat vent and risk something going wrong. Because even though this is, say, it's 128 blocks away, I'm still not 100% sure that this is safe. I couldn't find anything on the internet that said sort of in explicit terms exactly how far away it needed to be. I just put it sort of a good distance away that I thought, yeah, probably that will be safe. But yeah, like I said, I don't actually know how far that is. So we will stick with the easiest method, which is a one-to-one relationship that I know works, and we will go with that. So that said, then we need to get together then a load of these. In fact, let's just count up how many that we need, because we basically need half of this. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6. There's basically 6 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are basically going to need 36, I think, by my quick calculations there of, I can't even speak properly, by my quick calculations there. And each one of these is going to require quite a bit of stuff. So we need a load of iron bars and plates, which is fine. Then we need some more of the electric motors, which require more tin item casings, iron ingots, and some of these coils. So pretty simple stuff, but it's very, very time consuming. So I am going to do that off camera. And then the next thing that we'll need after I have done that is we're going to need some fuel rods. Now, again, there are plenty of different, if I just type in uranium, there are plenty of different fuel rods that we can use here. Now, when I was talking about the heat vents being good on a one-to-one basis, I know it's good on a one-to-one basis with the single uranium fuel rods here. I really don't know about any of the other fuel rods, the dual fuel and the quad fuel rods, exactly how they work. It is something that I'll be looking up at some future point in time, but for now, I want to concentrate on getting a few of these done. And these are pretty easy, although we are going to need a new machine to do it. So basically, we take some enriched uranium and put it into the canning machine with an empty fuel rod. And as you know, the enriched uranium is just literally some uranium, which we know how to get in a thermal centrifuge, along with some tiny piles of uranium, which is just obtained by popping some uranium into a crafting grid. And then you got 9 pieces of that, like you do any other ingot. So I'm going to go away and I'm going to make a few of those. And by the way, the fuel rods, yeah, you've seen me accidentally do one of those in the past where you just put an iron plate in extruder mode in the metal former. And yeah, obviously this is just requiring us to get some of the purified crushed uranium, which we can do in our ore washer. And obviously this time we'll be remembering to put on our hazmat suits so that we don't get radiation poisoning. So I am going to go away. I'm going to get all of that stuff together so that we can come and pop it into our nuclear reactor, because as I say, it's very grindy. It'll be pretty boring to watch, and obviously, you know, you've seen the recipe, you know how it's made, so I don't think that anybody will mind me doing that. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so some considerable time later, and hopefully I've got all the bits together that I need to make the heat sinks and the heat vents, sorry. So yeah, first of all then we're going to need a load of these electric motors. So we need a load of the coils. So that's 30, so we need 72 of the coils. So let's just double check and see what we can make here. So that's a load of those, and then we just need a few more. And for some reason that clicked off of there. That's fine. So yeah, we just need a few more of those. Don't think that's going to be quite enough, but yeah, we will we'll see. And where have we gone? There we are. And then to put these together, we just need, as I say, a load of those. So that's 33 of those. Yeah, we've not quite got enough, but that's fine. Let's get the rest of these together and we'll see how many we are missing overall. So yeah, and they don't stack either. Right, okay. Let's go and put what we've got in place into the nuclear reactor, and then we can come back. I've got to say I'm a little bit disappointed that these don't stack actually. And I'm not able to fly over here obviously because I've got my hazmat suit on, so we've got to do this the old-fashioned way, but however, we will sprint rather than just walking over there. And I've got the fuel cells as well, so we can put those in there afterwards. But to make it easier, we'll put the heat vents in there first. So these just need to all go in like this, and yeah, a bit time consuming. Okay, so just put the remaining ones of these in, and I've kind of overestimated how many of these I actually needed, and then we'll put the fuel rods in like so. And yeah, maths went a little bit out of the window then, maybe. But yeah, that's fine. So they are all on a 1-to-1 relationship, and we've got a few spare for next time. I say a little bit disappointed that these don't stack, but there you go. And then in order to actually get this started, we're going to need ourselves a lever, which we can just make like that. And then we'll just pop that onto the side. And we'll just watch it for a couple of minutes just to make sure that nothing untoward is going to happen. So we'll just watch the core temperature. That's outputting 135 EU per tick, which is quite a lot of RF per tick. I think roughly you times it by 4, so that's just over 500 RF per tick. And as I say, we will at some point link that up, but to our main system. But for now, we are just interested in these being depleted. And actually, if you hover over the fuel cells, it doesn't do it on the heat vents, but if you hover over the fuel cells, you can see the Minecraft ID number slowly changing. So, yeah, I know it's going to take a fair while for those to become depleted before we can move on to the sort of next bit of the task. But for now, that's up and running. The core temperature is staying at 0. We will, as I say, be keeping an eye on that, but say I am going to leave that running. And I don't know if whether or not I can actually chunk load now that it's in. Yeah, I can. Good. So let's actually get that so that that is loaded up as well. And then we'll get ourselves back over here. I'm going to offload the rest of these uranium cells so that I can actually take the hazmat suit off and get my jetpack back. And we'll have a look at what is next. Now, it could be that if it's complicated, then we'll possibly do it in the next episode, because this episode has taken an absolute age to make on the basis that there was so much grindy work to be done. So let's pop that in there. We'll pop all of the heat sinks in there as well. We'll go and pop the rest of the uranium back in here. In fact, if we just double click on here, we can get everything out of our inventory that we don't want right now. The electric motor, we don't want that. We'll just store that in there. And in fact, no, we won't. We'll take it out and we'll go and put it over here so that it's actually accessible via our system, our network, and the wire as well. So the next part of the process, if we go back into the Applied Energistics, let's just have a quick look, and yeah, it'll be fine. Right, so ME controller, Certus quartz wrench, Cenarium, and the Cenarium alloy, Iridium reinforced plates. And yeah, so basically what we're going to need before we can get anywhere with that, we obviously need to get some plutonium, and that requires us to have some of these things depleted so that we can get those in the thermal centrifuge. As I say, that is going to take a fair while to get there. And the skystone, I think that's relatively easy to make. Can we not just get a normal skystone block? Is that possible? So we smelt skystone. Yeah, we get skystone from lava and skystone dust, and I'm fairly sure that's an output. Yeah, it is. And how much of it we got? We have got a fair amount of that, so we could probably, let's just see, can we actually make some skystone? We've got a bucket. Yeah, fine. And I think, if I remember rightly, we left a barrel over here somewhere just to make life easier, which we did. We certainly don't want any water in there, so we'll get rid of the water. We'll grab some lava, pop some lava in there, pop some of that in there, and yeah, there we go. So skystone is easy enough, and in order to make that skystone, we need to smelt down. Can I actually get there at some point in time? There we go. Yeah, so we need to smelt down some skystone, and I've still not looked how much we need. That we need 4 pieces of that for this, and I suspect that we need some elsewhere as well. But yeah, fine, easy enough. I can do that. And then the pure flux crystals, they require us to drop a flux seed made from flux dust and sand into a puddle of water. And if we just go in and have a look at what flux dust is made by grinding down or pulverizing flux crystal, which is made by dropping charged Certus quartz, nether quartz, and redstone into a puddle. Okay, so charged Certus. I'm fairly sure that we've got some of that. I'm not really sure how much of it that we've got, but let's just have a look. And yeah, so that is charged Certus. So let's grab some of that. And yeah, so let's just look at that again. Charged Certus quartz, nether quartz, and redstone. So there we go. There's some redstone. And hopefully I've got some nether quartz handy as well. And we need to drop that into a puddle. If we put it there, let me get rid of that. Do we need to have that there? No, we don't. That's fine. So if we put that here and then go back upstairs again, hopefully that's not too deep, which is not good. Okay, finally. So we'll put some water in there, and we've now got a puddle. And into that then we need to throw one of those, and one of those. Let's just see how that works. So one of those, and one of those, and they should now combine together. And that was pretty quick, I must say. I expected it for some reason to take longer than that. And then, yeah, so the flux crystal is made by flux dust and sand in a puddle of water. So let's go and pulverize that first of all. So that's back downstairs again to the pulverizer. I think this will probably be the last thing that we do in this episode. Let's just quickly get that done. So there is our dust. And then we can just pop that into the puddle again with some sand. Now, I think this will take some time. I think the other was meant to be instantaneous. I think this is the one that takes the time. So let's just grab a bit of sand, like so. And we'll make a couple of those. So two of those. Do we have? I think we have to do this in the crafting table first of all. Let's just try that then. So that and that. There we go. Right, so yeah, it did need to be in the crafting table. And now we can go and throw those into the puddle. Like so. And they will now, over time, turn into the pure flux crystal. Okay, so I am, in fact, just before I finish, just going to quickly check what the temperature, if anything, is doing over here, or if we've had any movement whatsoever on this. And we can kind of judge how long this is going to take. Once I finish this episode, I'm just going to leave Minecraft running for a fair period of time, just so that actually gets completed. Anyway, but let's just have a quick look anyway and see what's going on. And that is still changing. It hasn't moved at all though. And we are still... See, I'm wondering now whether or not I need to actually draw some of this power out to make this quicker. I think for now I'll leave it. And yeah, we'll see. So anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. I think we've achieved quite a bit. We've got ourselves a nuclear power station or a nuclear reactor set up over there, so we can start to at least creep ever so slowly forward towards getting our Applied Energistics system. So, which I love the logistics pipes, but this is going to be far better. And ultimately, we are going to need something with the capabilities of the AE network in order to progress towards some of the other endgame items. But yeah, if you like the video, please drop us a like, always appreciated. And guys, until next time, take care. Bye.